Hi, this is Aaron Brooker, agronomist for Michigan and Northern Indiana. And some of us woke up to some frost this morning, and I've been getting some phone calls about if we need to be concerned about any corn or soybeans that are starting to poke out of the ground and if those are going to make it or not. So the first thing I'll say is to really assess frost damage. We need to wait 2 to 3 days to really see what's going to survive and what's not. So that damage will start to show up somewhat rapidly. We can start to see that water-soaked leaf. Some of those leaves start to die pretty quickly here, especially as we are expecting some warm temperatures today, and those plants are going to be trying to grow. But to really see what new growth is going to come out of some of these low-lying spots that had some heavier frost, we do need to wait 2 to 3 days. So nothing wrong with getting out and scouting a few fields, seeing what that initial looks like there here in the middle of the day here or tomorrow. But as far as doing anything, if we need to put any more beans in the ground or if we need to make any decisions like that, we really do need to probably wait 2 to 3 days and see if those beans are going to grow out of this. So for soybeans, I'll start with those. They're actually a little bit more tolerant to cold temperatures than corn is, so we need a few hours of 28 to 30 degree temperatures before we really start to see some significant damage. So I don't know yet if we're going to see any widespread issues and if we had those temperature ranges, but the areas where that is likely to occur are going to be those low-lying areas, those frost-prone areas where that frost really settles down in to those dips and valleys. So check those areas first. That's where the frost is likely to be the worst. And again, wait a couple days on that. Now, soybeans, the cotyledons, those two first little halves of the seed that come up out of the ground, they're actually somewhat tolerant of cold temperatures as long as those cotyledons are still protecting that growing point. So it's when that first leaf comes out, when that growing point starts to emerge, that we really start to be sensitive to those low temperatures. Also, if those soybeans are at the hooking stage or that neck stage where that neck just is curved up out of the ground, if a frost sets in on that, that is below the growing point and that will kill those beans. So definitely something to be aware of there. So again, check those low-lying areas for our best or our worst chance of having some damage. On the corn side of things, anytime we get below that 30 to 32 range for multiple hours, we can be sensitive there. For corn, I'm not too worried about things. We might nip the couple of those leaves off, but that growing point is still under the ground, and I know we didn't really see a really hard frost across any of the areas, so I'm not too worried about corn. We might see those leaves die back, anything that was emerged, but that growing point should be fine, and we should be able to have that new growth come out of the ground pretty quickly. So again, you can take a look at that, but especially on the corn side, if we do burn off that top of the plant, it's going to take a couple of days for that new growth to start coming out of the ground and for us to see that. So again, key takeaway here is I know everybody's excited and wondering if we need to worry about this, and it's okay to get out there this afternoon or tomorrow and see what things look like. But as far as if any decisions do need to be made, we do need to wait probably 2 to 3 days before we are able to assess what actually got killed and what's going to survive. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. I'll also be attaching a couple of resources here that will guide you through some things to look for as well. Thanks a lot.